Hello, my name is Doug Lowen, and boy, oh boy, got some exciting stuff today. How many of you have seen the movie with George Clooney that was released in 2000 called The Perfect Storm? Well, The Perfect Storm had an interesting concept, and since that movie was Hollywoodized, the term perfect storm has a new meaning. And if you look up on Wikipedia what the definition of perfect storm is, it is a rare combination of circumstances resulting in an event of unusual magnitude. Well, what I would like to do is I would like to talk about a perfect storm in the context of our economy. So let's talk about the perfect economic storm and what is happening. See, what a storm does is a storm creates devastation for the masses, but for a few it creates opportunity. So what I would like to do in this video is I would like to talk with you about some elements that are creating the perfect storm so you can be familiar with what is happening. And then also I want to talk with you about the few who are going to have opportunity created because of this perfect storm and whether you can find yourself in this few. So a couple things, if you look on my nice whiteboard on my stand here, the first thing is talking about the subprime. In the fall of 2008, we started seeing a problem with housing in the United States. There were people who should not have had a mortgage, who could not afford a mortgage, but were given a mortgage. When interest rates rose, they lost their home. So because of the subprime crisis, we saw several things happen. First of all, in 2008 and 2009, we saw 9 million jobs lost in the United States. That's 6%. Very significant. The next thing is we saw a decrease of an average of 50% in the stock market. So again, whether it was the United States, Canada, Europe, wherever it was in the world, we saw people lose half of their retirement portfolio. And this is after already of 8 years of it being in a range-bound market already. And the last thing we saw is we saw houses decrease on average 30% and lose about 30% of their value. So that's the subprime. Now the thing is, we're not done the subprime yet. The second thing is we look at baby boomers. Baby boomers are anybody born between 1946 and 1964, and baby boomers have shaped the economy as we've seen it. Now what is happening is baby boomers are starting to retire. Starting in 2011, baby boomers are starting to retire. About 25% of the population would be considered a baby boomer. And when we look at, on the US side of the border, when we look at their deficit, for example, in 2011, they had a $1.3 trillion deficit. But because of the way the accounting works in the United States, and they do not always have to be forthright, if we counted the unfunded liabilities from baby boomers, Medicare, Medicaid, and unfunded pensions, there would be an additional $3.7 trillion of a deficit, and that was in 2011. So baby boomers, what's happening with them retiring is very, very significant. The last thing, which applies on the government front as well as on our personal front, is debt. And if we look at the public debt, it is devastating what is happening with debt. This year, every G20 country is running a deficit. Okay? That is very important to understand. Every G20 country around the world is running a deficit. Canada, let's bring this home a little closer to home. Canada, every day is paying $86 million in interest. So if we look at what is happening in the situation of debt, I want to show you something here that you may have seen before. This is Canada's debt clock. So right now, as the video is being played or recorded today, we are at about $611 billion in debt and adding and counting and counting. You can see how quickly that is counting. Now, to give you an idea, if at the time of Alexander the Great, about 300 years after Christ, if our government started spending $1 million a day over and above, $1 million a day, so that's the last almost 1,700 years, we would be at $611 billion in debt. Now we're not, we obviously don't have that kind of history, so we have overspent and we are in a significant debt problem. So when you look at the subprime crisis, the baby boomers retiring, and the amount of public, and I haven't even talked about private debt that we have been consuming, this is the perfect storm. So the important question to ask yourself is, are you going to be some of the ones that are devastated by the debt, or are you going to be some of the ones that have opportunity created by the debt? Well, I'll tell you this. Those who are going to receive opportunity and are going to receive prosperity because of the perfect economic storm will be those who are educated. And I've talked to you, and I'm going to continue doing these videos for as long as possible, expressing the importance of getting educated. Those who are educated will benefit and will prosper because of the economic storm, and not be a burden to society and be devastated because of the economic storm. Thank you so much for watching. I encourage you now to go to www.freedomps.ca, where you can join the Freedom Fighter Network. Here you will get weekly articles and videos encouraging you on your road to freedom, not only in your wallet, but also in your whole life. As well, you'll be able to download a copy of 5 Key Steps to Abundant Financial Freedom. This is a free chapter from my up-and-coming book. Very excited, so take care and God bless.